Inside Boxing's Throwdown. This is our second segment. I'm Aurelio Martinez, Steve Johnson. And Steve, we're going to talk a little bit about the happenings that's going on in boxing and the hot topics that are going on in boxing. Of course, two of them, two hot topics, and they just don't seem to let up. They don't seem to finalize. They don't seem to go away. They just kind of stay there lingering. And I'm talking about the one, Deontay Wilder and AJ. Okay, and then I'm also talking about Cinnamon and Triple G. Okay, the Russian Mexican. Okay, so which one you want to start talking about first? Because they both have their little they
both have their little stench to them.
Yeah.
But you go ahead and start off with Canelo because I know what a big fan of his you are.
Yeah, you do. Well, Canelo, okay. The latest, and I think everyone's heard out there that the latest is the fight's been made. Oscar De La Hoya and Canelo failed. You know, they wanted to give an opponent to come in and give them as little as possible as far as their cut and their purse money. As a matter of fact, they even went down to offering Jacobs 10%.
Yeah, 90-10.
90-10. And I mean, if that's not a slap in the face, I don't know what is. But Triple G held his own. Okay, he was shooting for 50-50, and he held his own because, you know, all this talk with Oscar going out there saying Triple G needs Canelo, you know, he'll never make that kind of money fighting these other guys for $1 million here, $1 million there, he'll never make it. Well, you know, Triple G on the other hand says, well, that's okay, but Canelo's not going to make the kind of money he thinks he's going to make unless he fights me. Okay, I mean, no one's going to pay the big money to watch him fight anybody else. And
so they ended up settling 55-45.
Yeah, and actually I think it was a little more than that. They got the little points in there. But basically it turns out to be a 50-50 fight because I think it was more like 57.2 or something like that.
It was 57-42 originally, but then they said 55-45.
Okay, but that's a victory for Triple G.
Of course.
It's because nobody else wants to see Canelo fight anyone else, and the truth of the matter is Canelo don't want to fight anybody else that has a pulse.
Well, and let's be honest, Canelo doesn't have a belt.
No, and he's not going to fight Jacobs. That 10% was just a way of saying, you know, it's a publicity stunt. We really don't want to fight you, so we're going to offer you 10%. They're not going to fight Billy Joe Saunders.
Nope.
They're not going to fight anyone out there that's not afraid of Canelo. And right now, their top contenders, none of them are afraid of Canelo.
Nope.
Not a one of them.
Nope.
Not a one of them. I mean, so cash out. Take your fight with Triple G. Big mega fight. It's going to make a lot of money. And then it's over with. Then you can go eat all the cow and the beef in Mexico you want. Okay? I mean, and enjoy
well, let's talk real quick since we're on Canelo. You know, he came out last week and he said in an interview on one of the Hispanic stations, he came out and said that there will be no face-offs. He doesn't want to see, you know, Triple G until they come to the weigh-ins, and his whole intent on the fight is to tear his head off. And my interpretation, if I tell everybody when I see Aurelio, I'm gonna tear his head off, that means there's gonna be no dancing around and playing around. We're just gonna go.
Right.
But then he says, you know, we're gonna start our training camp. We already have our plan on how we're gonna approach this fight. Man, this dude don't want to fight. He don't want to fight. And Triple G's going. You think ooh man, I'm telling you, I'm waiting. I'm looking forward to seeing Triple G just blast him out. I really am.
I'm gonna tell you what. I like Triple G's approach because he's staying humble. He's holding on. He's sticking with his guns, and he said the fight's going to happen. It's going to happen, and I'm going to benefit from this fight just every bit as much as they are because, you know, obviously I'm the champ.
Yeah, that's what I'm
the champ.
Man, he's the champ.
And if I need to fight, you know, these guys for $3 million, $2 million here and there, so be it. I mean, that's what he's going to do. Yeah. And I like that approach. And I'm telling you what, he will be ready for this fight. Okay?
I'm looking forward to blast him out. Now let's move on real quickly while we, you know, because this is going to take a minute here. Anthony Joshua, Deontay Wilder. I really have to question Deontay Wilder's kind of his sanity now, man. He's coming out all over the media, Twitter, Instagram, everywhere. And it's gone beyond this guy doesn't want to fight me. I mean, it's full of every tirade that he has is just full of all kind of cuss words and stuff from somebody who's on the edge, man. I mean, and he did an interview, I think it was Thursday, where he said flat out, all the other negotiations we had on the table, they're all out the window. It's either going to be 50-50 or there won't be a fight. Well, guess what, dude? There will be no fight at 50-50. You don't warrant a 50-50 fight.
But, and I'd like to sit there and agree with him, saying that, hey, they're both up on top. They're both champions. Mm-hmm. They're both. It's the fight to be made in the heavyweight, without a doubt. So I'd like to kind of stick with my guns and kind of try to back him a little bit on the 50-50. But the truth of the matter is, you always have someone running the show and someone that's not running the show. Now, if Deontay's promoters were running the show, then of course they would be on the upper hand. They would be able to set the rules and the guidelines, but they're not. We're talking about the guy across the pond with the AJ's promoter. Okay? Eddie Hearn. He's the one that's putting everything together. He's the one. They're in the driver's seat because they're the promoters. So obviously, the promoter is going to take the higher side of the equation. That's just the way it works. It doesn't matter who you are. That's just the way it works. So I think Deontay should probably be happy getting a 60-40, or if you can kind of edge out a little more on that, maybe like Canelo and like Triple G did, maybe he can edge out a 55 for him, but to sit there and just say I need 50-50, it's not going to happen. Okay?
Well, really, the reality is that Anthony Joshua, the last 3 fights he's got like 18 million. We said it last week. 18 million, 19 million, now $20 million. Deontay Wilder, the most fight he's made, and that was at home in Alabama. He got $2.1 million. Okay, just being a business person financially, it's not right. You remember that Oscar De La Hoya tried to make that same situation comparison with Triple G.
Yes.
The bottom line is, because he was of the opinion that Triple G, that was the draw. Nobody cares about Triple G. We know that's not true. But once again, who is the champion? Okay, who's the champion? Triple G is the champ. So if you kind of go after him, and even though you think your guy's a draw, you got to give up a little. The same thing here with Deontay Wilder. He thinks that he's going to win, and I think all of us say he's got a good chance. But the bottom line, dude, you're not the champ. You're not the promoter. You got to come down, and for you to say 50-50 or nothing, guess what? You're going to keep making $1, $2, $3 million while Joshua's piling up the money. And if it does happen in 2020 that you two meet, he really don't care if he wins, because he's still going to make a bunch of money, and you're going to have to buckle under the 60-40 or whatever. Sooner or later, he's going to buckle under.
He's got a promoter in Eddie Hearns that's business sense, kind of on the same level of Bob Arum here in the United States. Okay?
That's right.
They know what they're doing.
That's right.
They know what they're doing, and they know what they can give and what they can take, and that's just good business. So I just think Deontay needs to just work, and he can forget about 50-50. That's not going to happen. But I think he can kind of crawl up there, get over 40%. I think he can, because obviously your promoters are not going to turn the other cheek on such a big fight that's going to bring in so much money in one night. So they're going to work. They'll work. I mean, it's just business that they'll work. Well, but not to the effect of 50-50. Yeah. I mean, the promoter's got expenses.
Eddie Hearn said yesterday morning, the offer's still on the table.
Yeah, okay. He sure did.
Then Deontay Wilder came in. He's the one that came out and said, nope, 50-50 or nothing. So as far as I'm concerned, we can stop talking about that, because until Deontay Wilder stops running his mouth, and I'm telling you, man, he almost sounds like a deranged maniac. Well, I mean, just you guys go look at some of his tweets, and some of the interviews. I mean, just profanity-laced tirades that are just border on insanity.
Yeah,
and don't forget, my boy came out of the woodworks the other day and said, "Hey, you can come get some now." That's Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury said, "You can come get some now." So
10 seconds.
Here we have another kind of crazy dude just raising his head saying, "Hey, Deontay Wilder, you ain't gonna get Joshua. You come get me."
Well, see, there's a fight that I'm sure Deontay can get the lion's share.
Well,
Because
he
Tyson,
is
Tyson, it doesn't matter, but he can get the lion's share.
Yeah.
He can get his 60% of that fight.
Yeah.
Okay, because
he can get that.
Tyson Fury wants money. He wants a fight. He wants to come in. So
Hey man, you got to go see the video. Tyson Fury said, "I'll stop you within 5 rounds." You know, I don't know about that, but the bottom line is that Tyson Fury, when he's on point, he's a factor because he's a big boy. He's got
big.
good hand speed. But we got to see which one it is. But anyway, that's the end of our second segment, and we'll come back inside Boxing's Throwdown with our third and final segment where we'll just kind of rehash a couple of things. Then we'll start talking about getting ready for this 4th of July weekend where there's no fireworks in Colorado. We got a lot of fire danger, but we still have a lot of fun because it's Independence Day. All right?
all right,
All right.
come back and see us. Till then, Steve,
Hey.
like we always close it out. Keep them hands
Hands up.